This is Canada's massive construction revolution, where billion-dollar megaprojects are transforming the nation faster than ever. Across Canada, giant transit systems, energy corridors, and international trade routes are being built simultaneously. These projects are reshaping cities, industries, and global markets, and some could redefine the country's future for generations. 7. Cedar LNG Project. Hidden along the rugged coastline of British Columbia, Cedar LNG is emerging as one of the most closely watched energy projects in North America. At first glance, it looks like another industrial export terminal. But the deeper story is far more important. Cedar LNG is one of the world's first indigenous majority-owned liquefied natural gas developments. That alone placed the project in an entirely different category from traditional energy infrastructure. Located near Kitimat, the floating terminal is designed to export Canadian natural gas to overseas markets while relying heavily on hydroelectricity to reduce emissions during production. That contrast surprised many industry analysts. For decades, LNG facilities were associated with massive carbon footprints and conventional industrial systems. Cedar LNG is attempting a different approach. Construction activity accelerated through 2025 and into 2026 as crews expanded marine loading infrastructure, support facilities, and coastal engineering systems. And there is something even larger happening behind the scenes. Global demand for liquefied natural gas continues growing, especially across Asian markets searching for long-term energy security. Canada wants to become a serious competitor in that race, and Cedar LNG could become one of the country's most strategic export projects. But compared to the next project, this coastal development almost feels small. Because deep beneath Toronto, engineers are building one of the largest transit expansions in Canadian history. 6. Ontario Line Subway Project. Toronto is being transformed from below. The Ontario Line is not simply another subway extension. It is a massive rapid transit system stretching more than 15 kilometers across one of the busiest urban regions in North America. Once completed, the line will connect Exhibition Place to the Ontario Science Centre through a combination of underground tunnels, elevated tracks, and newly designed stations. But what makes this project extraordinary is the scale of simultaneous construction. Crews are tunneling beneath crowded neighborhoods while separate teams rebuild bridges, relocate utilities, and construct elevated guideways above city streets. In some areas, giant tunnel boring machines are operating only meters away from existing infrastructure. Think about the complexity of that. A modern city of millions continues functioning normally, while an entirely new transportation network is carved beneath it. Major tunneling phases officially intensified in 2026, turning Toronto into one of the most active transit construction zones anywhere on the continent. Once operational, the Ontario Line is expected to dramatically reduce congestion while carrying hundreds of thousands of passengers every day. And yet, even this enormous urban project cannot match the raw physical scale of what Canada built in the wilderness of British Columbia. Because the next megaproject did not just reshape a city, it reshaped nature itself. 5. Site C Clean Energy Project. Far from Canada's largest cities, one of the country's biggest engineering battles has been unfolding for years. The Site C hydroelectric project on British Columbia's Peace River became one of the most controversial and ambitious infrastructure developments in modern Canadian history. Massive earth-moving operations, giant concrete structures, diversion tunnels, and power generation systems transformed the remote landscape into a gigantic industrial zone. The scale is difficult to fully understand. Entire sections of river systems were redirected, while crews worked around extreme weather conditions and difficult terrain. Political debate surrounded the project almost from the beginning. Critics questioned environmental impacts and rising costs. Supporters argued the dam would provide renewable electricity for generations. Despite years of controversy, construction continued. By 2026, final turbine systems and transmission infrastructure were moving closer toward full operational status. Once completed, Site C is expected to generate enough electricity to support hundreds of thousands of homes across Western Canada. But here is the detail many people overlook. Projects like this are designed to operate for decades. Some infrastructure built today could still be powering communities deep into the next century. Still, Canada's next megaproject may have an even more immediate impact on everyday life, because this one is attempting to completely redefine transportation inside one of the country's most historic cities. REM de l'Est Expansion. Montreal is building one of the most advanced transit systems in Canada. The REM network already changed regional commuting, but its eastern expansion quickly became controversial due to its original elevated design passing through dense neighborhoods. Concerns about noise, urban disruption, and visual impact forced officials to rethink major sections of the plan. Instead of canceling it, engineers shifted toward redesigned routes and possible underground alternatives. By 2026, planning and revisions were still ongoing as the city tried to balance modern rapid transit with urban livability. The system itself is fully automated, using electric trains controlled by advanced digital signaling, allowing higher frequency and reduced delays. And while Montreal redesigned its future transport system, another project was quietly preparing to reshape cross-border trade at a continental scale. 3. Gordie Howe International Bridge. Canada and the United States depend on one of the busiest trade relationships in the world. The Gordie Howe International Bridge connects Windsor, Ontario, to Detroit, Michigan, forming a new high-capacity crossing designed for freight efficiency and long-term trade growth. This is not just a bridge. It is an entire transportation system. It includes a cable-stayed structure over the Detroit River, large customs plazas, and upgraded highway connections on both sides of the border. Years of construction went into building inspection facilities and traffic systems capable of handling massive commercial flow. The key goal is simple but powerful: reduce delays that cost industries millions and improve the movement of goods between two major economies. And yet, even this massive cross-border project is overshadowed by something even larger on the Pacific Coast. A project that redefined Canada's role in global energy exports. 2. LNG Canada Export Terminal. In Kitimat, British Columbia, one of the largest industrial energy facilities in North America is nearing completion. LNG Canada is a massive liquefied natural gas export terminal designed to send Canadian gas across the Pacific to global markets, especially Asia. The facility includes huge processing units, storage tanks, pipelines, and marine export systems spread across a vast coastal site. Thousands of workers have been involved in its construction and final commissioning stages through 2025 and 2026. But its importance goes beyond construction size. It represents a major shift in Canada's energy strategy, moving away from heavy dependence on U.S. exports and directly entering global LNG markets. That change could reshape national revenues for decades. Still, even this project is not the most controversial, because the #1 megaproject became a national debate involving economics, politics, and environmental concerns. 1. TMX Expansion Project. The Trans Mountain Expansion is one of the most debated infrastructure projects in modern Canada. It expands an existing pipeline system from Alberta's oil regions to the Pacific Coast, increasing export capacity to global markets. The project faced major challenges from the beginning, including legal disputes, environmental opposition, and rising construction costs. Building it required crossing mountains, rivers, and protected regions while constructing new pipelines, pump stations, and marine export facilities. Despite years of controversy, construction continued and eventually progressed toward full operation. By 2026, the focus shifted to managing expanded capacity and maintaining long-term operations across the system. Supporters see it as a critical economic asset. Critics view it as environmentally risky. Either way, It became a defining infrastructure project in Canada's modern history.